Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Vary. That's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And there we have Joe Biden in his farewell address. Good riddance, Joe Biden. And Joe Biden talking about an oligarchy taking shape in America. Joe Biden going back to the classic communist trope. Everybody needs to pay their fair share. Nobody ever tells you what the fair share is or who those people are that should pay it. But that aside, Joe Biden, wow, talk about hypocritical. Play by the rules, pay your fair share. Oligarchy. Really didn't seem to care about that too much when he was awarding George Soros a Medal of Freedom about, 2 weeks ago? I want to talk about oligarchs running politics in America. Seems that Joe Biden's getting revenge on the ones who have turned their back on him, like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. That's all Joe Biden's ever been about. Don't be fooled. Joe Biden's not a nice old guy. Joe Biden's a snarky, nasty, sarcastic, condescending piece of garbage. I said it. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. That's why this show is called Opinions Vary. But let's get into a Abby Phillips clip on CNN where they're going to be discussing this same thing with Kevin O'Leary and a few other people, including The View, deranged TDS individual, Anna Navarro. So it gets a little interesting, and I'll comment along the way. Let's go.
Is he right?
Well, of course he's right, but the part that he didn't mention is that both parties are participating in this oligarchy. There's gambling in the casino. The corruption didn't start with Donald Trump. He's just less bashful about it than most.
What's Donald Trump done that's been corrupt with regards to especially an oligarchy? Again, this guy just said Donald Trump, the corruption, and then he references Donald Trump. Doesn't back it up with anything, just says Donald Trump's corrupt.
But the fact is that President Biden was president for 4 years. You didn't see him advance legislation for campaign finance reform. You didn't see him take up the mantle of getting money out of politics. Kamala Harris raised $1 billion in a month. Yeah,
and squandered it away. And again, Joe Biden's been president for 4 years. Joe Biden's been a senator since 1973. Joe Biden was a senator till he became vice president in 2008. Then he was vice president till 2016. Then had a 4-year hiatus. Then was president. So don't just say the last 4 years. Joe Biden never brought a bill or any kind of legislation up to deal with the quote-unquote oligarchy. You know why? Because whatever the oligarchy is, believe you and me, Joe Biden was benefiting from it.
To say, oh, wait, I'm warning about the oligarchy. Of course he's right, but it's a little too late. That's what I said.
I mean, I think you're probably right about most of that. But what is happening right now is that a handful of major companies and the ones that the men that lead them are saying in the next 4 years is going to be a make or break for AI. And the person who gets closest to Donald Trump the fastest and gives him the most money is going to win that race.
Donald Trump won the election. And we should want to be first in AI. And if Donald Trump had lost the election, guess who they'd be cozying up to? Kamala Harris. See, Abby Phillips? And I'll guarantee you this wouldn't be a roundtable discussion on Abby Phillips' show at all. It would be business as usual. It would never be brought up.
That's extraordinary to think about.
You know, we celebrate in America the American dream. It's our number one export. Zuck was a college student once. Look what he's created. How many jobs? How much taxes has he paid? Elon.
Yeah, how many jobs has Joe Biden ever created? None. How many jobs has Bernie Sanders ever created? None. How many jobs has AOC ever created? None. How many people have they paid? How many people's health benefits have they paid? How many people's vacations have they given them paid vacation to go on? How many? I'll tell you how many. That many. Zero.
Musk, maybe the most successful entrepreneur in history. Another aspect of the American dream, just showing you what can happen. We should be celebrating this. And by the way, that message that Biden put out there, that was Harris's probably number one message during the election. How'd that work for her? Not so well.
You think that was her number one message?
I think so.
I don't think so.
No. Remember she said,
I agree.
we have Trump coming and all the bad things about concentration of wealth. Americans appreciate.
Right. Rich coming out of somebody, again, no pun intended, somebody's mouth who raised over $1 billion in how many months and wasted it all and owes money. And we wanted that person to run our government? No, we have enough problems. We're already $37 trillion in debt. We don't need somebody who could squander away $1.5 billion in 2 months.
The ability to pursue the American dream every day. And we do not push down on success ever. So, yes, Musk is rich. So what? Zuck,
I don't think
rich,
the issue is how
and
rich
everybody
they are.
else comes to this country almost drowning in rivers or getting cut under barbed wires to get in here to pursue their dream. Why do we ever think that we should bash their success?
Actually,
What are you
not
guys
about
talking about?
Actually, I want you to get it,
Yeah.
but let me just say this.
Hey guys, if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe. I do one video a day at least. If I don't do one video, it's because of circumstances that were beyond my control and I couldn't get it done. But please like, share, and subscribe and help me grow this channel. I appreciate it.
Let me just say this. It is
Kevin O'Leary, he's right. I don't even think he gets his point across great. I'm not saying I could do any better in this setting, but he's absolutely right. All these people do. And by the way, probably everybody sitting around that table, they're not missing any meals, okay, ever. And they're not going to be worried about if inflation goes up a little bit or Trump's tax cuts don't, if those tax cuts expire. All these people around this table here, they'll be just fine.
not about how rich they are.
Exactly.
Just to observe what he's
They're
talking
not
about
rich
here.
enough, is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that actually what got them there, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos, they all got to where they are because they came up with good ideas. They built big, good
Let's
businesses.
punish them.
And no. And they did so largely without having to do what they are doing now. The fact that they have to do it now, I think, actually is a change for them. They were not going to Washington themselves, groveling toward the political leaders to try.
Mark Zuckerberg donated $400 million in 2020 to Joe Biden's campaign. What are you talking about, Abby Phillips? What are you talking about? You know what? At least this time we actually have these people out in the open a little bit where we'll hear what they're doing. And at least Elon Musk and Ramaswamy are trying to cut spending in the federal government. At least we have a couple of people that are trying to do something good. We have them out in the open now. It's not dark money that Joe Biden was complaining about. As I said, he issued a Congressional Medal of Freedom to George Soros. Are you people kidding me?
To keep their businesses afloat.
Yeah, they were disruptors. I hear you that this did not just start with Donald Trump. And I don't actually think that was Kamala Harris's message. And I actually think when I listened to this, I thought Joe Biden was literally trying to pass the torch and give a nod to Democrats about maybe we should have rethought and not just run down my list of accomplishments of all the great things I did, but also talk.
Wait, list of what accomplishments and what great things. They don't get it, everyone. They still don't get it. Joe Biden is going to go down as the worst president of the last 100 years. And that is never going to change.
Pass it
like,
to whom?
To the
Gavin
next
Newsom?
to the next generation of leaders and talk about probably I don't think he was doing it to Gavin Newsom, but he was saying to the American people, the American dream is real, and if you work hard,
I don't need Joe Biden to tell me that the American dream is real. I'm so sick of Democrats talking down to me like I'm in third grade. Is everybody else sick of it? I'm so sick of Democrats telling me the American dream is real. Everybody knows that except all you guys do. All your policies fly in the face of that. You want everybody to get handouts. Everything you want to do is a tax credit, $50,000 in this relief. And that's all from everybody else who works hard trying to achieve the American dream. You guys are so full of crap.
Daddy, chill.
should be able to prosper, but everybody should play by the same rules, and it shouldn't just
like Hunter Biden. He should play by the same rules too, right?
be billionaires get to continue to expand their wealth while the working class Americans that so many Democrats acknowledge they weren't able to
Say
connect
on
with.
the billionaire front, I don't think. I think it's hard to say that Joe Biden was punishing them when Jeff Bezos was famously at one of the more recent state dinners in the Biden White House when.
Thank you for making my point for me, Ana Navarro.
Bezos and SpaceX, Elon Musk's company have all of these contracts with the Biden administration agencies. So it's
So Ana Navarro, what are you talking about, right? Joe Biden is talking about this oligarchy that's a problem. You're just basically saying, right, Joe Biden's a hypocrite, but of course you're not saying that out loud, right? You don't want to say that, but you're too stupid to realize that you're actually enforcing the point that he's a hypocrite.
You're a donut. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. You're stupid.
hard for me to know how he was punishing them. But to me, let's go back. I'd like to go back big picture to this address today. I don't think it was an address for today. I think it was an address for history and posterity and how the Biden administration is going to be seen. I don't think the 36% approval is going to be affected in the short term, one iota, by this farewell speech. But I do think that we are going to study it and the things he said. And he was passing the torch.
Study it. He can't even speak. He's muttering his words through a teleprompter. Study what? Study what? How not to do it? How not to make a farewell speech? That maybe is it. That's what we'll get out of it if we study it.
Not to Gavin Newsom, not to an elected official. He was passing the torch. He told the American people that we are the keepers of the flame when he talked about the Statue of Liberty and that analogy that he made. He also talked about how so many of the things he did are going to grow and bloom in decades.
Grow and bloom, like what? Inflation? Is that what it's going to grow? What else is going to grow? The amount of illegal immigration that we have in the country now that we're never going to be able to get rid of? Yeah, that's going to be his legacy. It's going to last generations, the damage that he's done to this country. Generations.
It's to come.
How do you think
I think that's going to be the case.
How do you think history's going to treat his foreign policy, his Bidenomics? How do you think he's going to be treated? Pardoning his son, the Biden brand name. Do you think a single Biden can get on the board of the Smithsonian?
I don't think you can argue against pardoning the son when you supported a felon. You see that?
See, here comes Ana Navarro's TDS, right? She's talking about Joe Biden, but you supported a felon. You supported he's a felon, a convicted felon. They still don't understand that. I'm sorry. I think over 70 to 80% of the country could care less about those fake felony charges that Donald Trump was convicted of. They know they were fake, manufactured, and complete bogus charges. They know it. They still don't get it. And the more the Ana Navarros, the Abby Phillips, all these people, they keep harping on it, the better off we are going to be because they will keep losing.
You lose the moral authority.
How do you feel about the Biden brand? How did he help his family? It's worse than Nixon for him.
You're going to talk to me about helping the family when Jared Kushner got $2 billion from the Saudis?
Yeah.
So one of the things, I think that one of the things that we have to be mindful here is that all politicians play this game where they say the rich, especially with Democrats, the rich should pay their fair share.
Yeah, no Republicans really say the rich should pay their fair share. Nobody goes down that uses that trope. It's Democrats only.
And Josh is right. Joe Biden has been in office, and the rich have only gotten richer under Joe Biden.
Stock market is through the roof. Who does that benefit? It benefits everyone with their 401k, sure. But here's the problem with the 401ks for the normal middle class people. You're actually based with inflation weighed in. You didn't make any money. You might be slightly ahead, maybe, but with everything else, higher price for groceries, gas, energy, you're down. Okay, so yes, the only people that benefited during Joe Biden, his run, were rich people.
It happens, though, under every single president, whether it's Republican or Democrat. It is just Democrats. Their mantra is that the rich should pay more. I thought that for...
Sorry, I got to stop it again. Here's the difference. How many people who weren't rich became rich when Donald Trump, those first 3 years before the thing came over? How many people who weren't rich, quote unquote rich, were able to progress on the way to were becoming rich? How many? Do we ever look at anything like that? I would like to know how many people went from one level to the next level. That's how success should be measured. Not if you became, quote unquote, a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, but if you were able to excel financially during somebody's presidency, that should be the bar. That should be the standard of that everyone should look at, shouldn't it?
Biden's speech. Now, Biden came into the White House with a lot of promise. He's been in office since about the same time as I think the Ford Pinto was an actual vehicle. That was back in the 70s. He came in office with this number of years of experience. And what you saw during the Biden administration, unfortunately for him and unfortunately for Democrats, was...
And unfortunately for the country. No, for everybody, unfortunately.
A lot of underperformance. I thought that they thought the 2020 midterms where Biden was dark Brandon, they saw success. Kamala Harris was out as the abortion czar. All of that was supposed to help Joe Biden. And then we get to June and then we get to July of this year and the bottom fell out of it for Joe Biden. So I don't think attacking the 1% of the rich is really going to help Joe Biden.
It's not about, Kevin, it's not about not letting people get rich. It's about not letting rich people control the political process and not having our politicians captured by those rich people such that they can't institute regulation.
Listen, again, because Donald Trump's coming back into office, we're having this discussion. Where is this discussion when there's a Democrat in office? Where is it? You know, Democrats aren't controlled by people with a lot of money. Yeah, everybody in Washington is controlled by people with a lot of money. The only difference for Donald Trump is he doesn't need their money. Never say that. You never say it. Donald Trump doesn't need their money. So Donald Trump is probably the least corruptible president we've ever had.
No, the country.
And common sense laws to make sure that the people at the top don't abuse the people at the bottom. And our system in Washington is broken.
That's fair. It's all fair, but half the country's still wondering how Joe Biden got rich.
Yeah, okay, so here...
How did he get rich?
But if Joe Biden got rich...
It ends there, okay? So I stopped it. Yeah, how did Joe Biden get rich, making probably in 1973? What was the salary for a senator? $50,000 a year? You could look that up. Now it's about $170,000. How did all these people get rich? If they weren't already, if they came into Congress like AOC, what's her net worth now? How are they getting, Dan Crenshaw, and he's a Republican, Dan Crenshaw, okay, one of the biggest inside traders probably on the planet right now, Dan Crenshaw. How do they get rich? We know how. Because these laws against insider trading for people in Congress are garbage. Garbage. I think they should be, you don't trade, no one in your family should trade, and how about this? No one in your orbit. If we find anybody in your orbit trading, we are going to look into you. But your family, totally out of the question. Somebody in your orbit who you went to high school with, how about that? And we're going to see if there's any connection there, if any phone calls were made, and maybe they'll knock it off. Because that's how they're getting rich. And they're also getting rich by all these forever wars that we fight all over the world. And they're one big money laundering operation. That's how. That's why they never want this stuff to end. That's why when somebody wants to come in and talk about peace, we can't have that. We can't have peace. Ukraine, we got to support Ukraine. Supporting Ukraine means taking our money. That's what supporting Ukraine means. So taking our money, sending it over there, and then somehow it makes it back into their funds, back into their coffers. That's what it is. It's been like that since Vietnam. We're just all catching on now. Maybe some of you caught on a long time ago. Most of us are just catching on to this now over the last few years. That's what these wars are. They're money machines for these people. So I just can't take the hypocrisy and Joe Biden talking about, everybody's got to play by the same rules, while his son is sitting in the room while he's making that speech in the Oval Office last night, who he just pardoned and gave a blanket pardon to for 10 years of crimes that he might have committed, or anything that they think he might have committed or he might commit. I mean, really? That's playing by the rules? That's equal? Everybody's playing by the same rules there, Joe? Really? Goodbye. Good riddance. Never to be seen or heard from again, I hope, Joe Biden. Goodbye. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. I do at least one video a day. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. The bigger this channel gets, the louder our voices are. I will always respond to your comments, whether you agree with me or not, as long as they're respectful. And I'm enjoying this a lot. So we'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.